Hi, today on Things We Love, I'm going to be talking to you about cuddlies or comforters or lovies, whatever you want to call them. For the sake of this video, I'm going to call them cuddlies, just because that's what we've always talked about with our own children. Now you can see beside me here on my daughter's bed is a whole pile of soft toys, and this is currently the cuddly pile in my household. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cuddlies, lovies, comforters, and then I'm going to show you some examples of the cuddlies that my own children have had in the past and have now, to help you sort of get an understanding of what kind of cuddly you might be looking for your little one. So why do we recommend using a cuddly with your little ones? A cuddly is what we would categorize as a positive sleep association. So sleep associations are really simply items or things or methods that your child or your baby associates with falling asleep. So it's things that they come to rely on in order to fall asleep. Basic sleep associations for all of us are things like a bed, pillows, a blanket. For your little ones, that might extend out to being in a swaddle or a baby sleeping bag, or having white noise playing, a dark room. For some babies, it will then extend further to be a pacifier or thumb sucking. Further still to needing to be rocked or held or nursed to sleep. So anything in our sleep environment or any method that we use to go to sleep is called a sleep association. Positive sleep associations are things that we associate with sleep that actually help us sleep rather than, I don't want to say hinder, but a positive sleep association is something that in the context of a baby's sleep, something that the baby can use or do themselves without needing external input from you. So those things would be environmental, like having a dark room, white noise, being in a swaddle or a sleeping bag. In an older baby, it would be thumb sucking, being able to replace a pacifier themselves, and of course the use of a comforter, cuddly, or a lovey. Introducing and using a cuddly with your little one is just another great tool in your sleep toolbox. It works because your little one comes to associate the cuddly with sleep. So it becomes a step in a process. The final part of that process, of course, is falling asleep. So we would recommend using some kind of cuddly item with your little one. And the way you would use it is that it would stay in your little one's bed or their cot, and every time they come for a nap or they come to go to bed at night time, they see their cuddly, they go in their brain, an unconscious cue sort of says, there's your cuddly is associated with sleep, it's sleep time. And if your little ones were anything like mine used to actually want to go to bed because it meant that they got to see their cuddly. I sort of didn't really let them have their cuddlies out during the day, mostly because I didn't want them to lose them come bedtime. But also it's really important to keep it as a sleep association. So it's not necessarily a play toy. It's not something they can just play with during the day. If you restrict it to sleep, then I think it has a special magic about it. And my kids used to run off to their room so that they could go into their cot and see their cuddly, and it's really cute once you see them form this attachment or this relationship with the cuddly. You know, they sort of rub it on their faces. My littlest sucks her thumb, so she would sort of hold it in her hands and suck her thumb. My son used to sleep with it like draped all over his face and his head when he was a bit older. So that is a really special sleep association because your little one forms this really cute bond with their cuddly, and it definitely helps them settle in sleep. If you are trying to work through some independent sleep with your little one, if you're trying to get them to move away from sleeping with you or relying on you rocking or cuddling them to sleep, giving them a cuddly is like giving them a little friend that can replace you to an extent. If you've got a younger baby, what you can do is put the cuddly inside your top or your clothing, or just put it in bed with you for a few days, and it will absorb your scent. And you know, babies have a very, very incredible sense of smell, and when they're really little, their sense of smell is one of their best senses, and so they will be able to see it, hold on to it, it smells like you, it's comforting, like that's a comforting and familiar smell. It's like leaving a little piece of yourself with them. So I have to add here that it's really important that you are following safe sleep guidelines when it comes to using anything in your baby's bed area. So obviously safe sleep means having your baby in their bed on their own, on their back, with their face clear of any blankets, clothing, toys, anything like that. So I wouldn't really start using any kind of cuddly in your child's bed until they're old enough to be able to hold it and move it away themselves. And that is because if it goes over their face and they can't get away from underneath it, obviously it becomes a suffocation risk. So always check, and safe sleep guidelines are a little bit different in each country, so always make sure you check what the guideline is for safe sleep in your country before introducing anything like this. One thing that does help with that though is making sure that your cuddly, especially if you're using it with a younger baby, is breathable fabric, and I'll talk more about that when I show you some of my little ones' cuddlies here. What you can do, however, with a younger baby is you can always use the cuddly in their sleep space, but not in their sleep space. So what I mean by that is if you have a crib, you can secure it to the side of the crib so they can see the cuddly, but it can't come loose and come off into their bed and fall across their face or anything like that. So if you're able to secure it somehow in their sleep environment so they can at least see it and start making that sleep association, then that's a really good way to ease into it. Having a cuddly is also a really good way of being able to continue your positive sleep habits when you're not at home. So if you're going, even if you're going for a walk, or if you're going for a drive, or you're going away and your little one is going to be sleeping somewhere else, out and about, then you can just take the cuddly with you, and your little one already associates it with sleep. So when it's sleep time, you give them the cuddly in their car seat if they're going to need to be sleeping in the car, or their stroller, or the new sleep space that they're in if you're away traveling. And straight away there's something that you can give them to help them come into those healthy sleep habits that they're used to, because expecting your little one to sleep somewhere else is always a bit of a challenge, and anything we can do to help make that easier is worth doing, and cuddlies are worth their weight in gold when it comes to that. So what cuddly is right for you or for your child? If there's one thing I've learned, it's that there is a very limited time where you can choose things for your little one before they need to start choosing them for themselves. So when they're really little, obviously you're going to be making the decisions around their bedding and their cuddlies and things like that. So my advice, as I mentioned, was choose a cuddly that's not too big. Choose one that is made of breathable fabric. So we're talking cotton, bamboo, merino, something like that. Ideally not something that's polyester or fleecy or man-made, as these fabrics don't breathe, and so there is an increased suffocation risk. I'm going to show you, these are very, very grubby. This is my youngest daughter, Charlie. This is one of her cuddlies. You can see it is a Kusky or a Kusky comforter, and this is 4 years old, and it is in great need of a wash. So you can see the Kusky comforter is sort of a star-shaped body. It has a hardish sort of tennis ball head and a little long end. God, it's so grubby, I'm so embarrassed. And a long end on it. This is good because it's organic cotton. So it's got that breathable quality we talked about, and Cuskies say on their website that they designed these so that they are the only cuddly that is proven safe for newborn babies, and they're designed in such a way that they will always fall away from the baby's face. I guess that's because maybe the weighting in the head lets it fall away from the baby's face. So that's a plus. She's had these since she was pretty much a newborn baby. The reason I have 2 of them, and this is the biggest piece of advice I can give you, is always have 2 of the Cuddlies. All of my kids have had 2 of their Cuddlies, and that is because initially they're obviously only having 1 in their sleeping space at any given time, but you can alternate them. So when this one needs a wash, which it clearly does, you put this one in while you're washing this one, because your child is going to develop a strong sleep association with the cuddly, and so you want to make sure that it is always there when they need to nap and when it's nighttime. So sort of having one out for a day in the wash is not really going to work unless you've got one to replace it with. The other good thing about having 2 is if one gets lost or left at grandma's house or left at daycare, you've got a backup, because again, that is literally my worst nightmare, is not having the cuddly come bedtime. Unfortunately, in all 3 of my kids' cases, there came a time where they somehow discovered the other cuddly, and every time it was like some weird like time travel double jeopardy thing where they're like, what? Like, you can see their little brains going, there's 2? And as soon as they discovered there were 2, they all had to then have both of them all the time. So once they knew there were 2, then they had to sleep with 2 for every nap and at night time, which, I mean, you choose your battles, right? You write it out. So actually, the way Cha-Cha discovered there were 2 of her ones is because one used to live in her daycare bag and one was at home. So there was always one sort of that did to and from daycare, and there was one at home. And I think one day she just went into the daycare bag. She's like, oh yeah, my cuddly, started cuddling it, then went into her bedroom and was like, oh, where did that one come from? So yeah, always get 2. Always get 2, or 3 or 5 even. The other good thing about Cusky is this is the original, so it's quite, you can see it's quite big. You can get mini ones, and you can get, I believe they're muslin ones as well, so you can get sort of thinner and smaller ones. Cusky Boo, I think, is the mini version. I'll put some links in the description box down below, and those are, I mean, I was going to say those are better for newborn babies, but you know, she had these from quite young. So I guess it just depends on your preference, and you can get other colours, not greyish pink. You can get blue patterns, white, don't get white. I'll show you why soon. Yeah, so Cusky, I do really like this brand, so check them out. These that I've got here, again, these actually did used to be pink. This was my eldest daughter, these are my eldest daughter's Cuddlies, and it's just like a little bunny thing, you know, like a sort of a flat fabric body with a little round head. Again, obviously there were 2 of them. So this is a possum, which is actually a pest in New Zealand, so I'm not sure why she has a possum toy. It is cute though. This is a possum toy that she got a couple of years ago, and she has chosen for this to be her cuddly now. This is the thing she actively cuddles in the night. So you can just see a little bit of a transition there from something that I've chosen to something that she's chosen herself. My son Max, when he was a baby, I got these cuddlies for him. So again, it's like a fabric, I think I got these from Nature Baby. It's like a fabric body with a bunny head, like a more solid head. I'm not even gonna start to explain what this is or how we got it. This is like a custom made toy that can be made from your child's artwork. So this was originally a piece of artwork. It's a weta, which is a native insect in New Zealand. They're not this big in real life or this colour. This bunny here, this is Fluff. Fluff was my cuddly when I was a child. I got him for her. I got it for Easter when I was about 4, and it was my cuddly for a very, very long time. It now usually lives in Michaela's bed, which I think is really cute. I will put all of the links for as many different types of cuddlies as I would recommend in the description box, and of course if you've got any questions or comments about cuddlies or how to introduce one or the best way to use one, please pop them down below as well. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the Things We Love videos, and I'll talk to you guys soon.